All right, so get ready because today we're doing a deep dive into something pretty fascinating for muscle health. We're going to be talking about EMS, electrical muscle stimulation.
Mhm.
You might have heard of athletes using it for recovery, but what if EMS could actually be a key to preventing muscle loss for anyone, especially those folks dealing with injuries or limited mobility?
Yeah, it's some pretty remarkable stuff. We're going to be diving into this study from Nagasaki University in Japan, and they really explored how EMS works, like
Hmm.
at the molecular level, looking at, those specific proteins and genes that can make our muscles, well, grow or waste away.
Oh, no. So we're not just like strapping on some electrodes and calling it a day, huh?
Yeah.
These researchers went deep. And here's another thing that I thought was interesting. The study was funded by both a scientific society and a company that develops EMS technology. So I got to ask, does that influence the findings at all? What do you think?
It's definitely something to keep in mind. But even with that being said, the study itself was very rigorous. They used a controlled environment to really isolate the effects of EMS.
Hmm.
So think of it like this. They worked with rats and they immobilized their hind legs to mimic what happens when, you can't move a limb, like after surgery or a serious injury. Then they applied different frequencies of EMS to see what happened.
So it's kind of like giving those muscles a virtual workout while they're, stuck in a cast. But let's back up for a sec. For anyone listening who's not totally familiar with EMS, what is it and how does it actually work?
Well, imagine your brain. Your brain's sending signals to your muscles, telling them to contract and relax, right?
Yeah.
EMS basically mimics those signals
Yeah.
using electrodes on the skin. So it's like giving your muscles this little electrical nudge to get them moving, even if you can't physically move them yourself.
So it's like sending in a motivational coach to get those muscles fired up. And what did the researchers actually find? Was this electrical nudge helpful?
Well, the results were pretty impressive, especially when they used high-frequency EMS, specifically 50 hertz. They measured something called muscle cross-sectional area, basically how thick your muscle fibers are. Think of it like measuring the diameter of a tree trunk. The thicker it is, the stronger the tree.
Right.
Right. Well, the rats that got this specific type of EMS had muscle fibers that were almost 25% thicker than those that didn't get any stimulation.
Wow, that's a serious game. So high frequency EMS is like giving your muscles a secret weapon against wasting away. But was it just about size, or did they find anything else happening at like the cellular level?
That's where it's even more interesting. They looked at two proteins, PAKT and PGC1. You can think of them like personal trainers for your muscles, helping them to stay strong and healthy. And guess what? High-frequency EMS was like giving those trainers a super boost. It significantly increased the levels of these muscle-protecting proteins.
So not only are the muscles getting a workout, they're also getting like extra support from these protein powerhouses. It's like a double whammy against muscle loss. But I'm sure there's another side to this story, right? What about the things that actually cause muscle breakdown? Did EMS affect those at all?
Yeah, you're on the right track. There are these genes, estrogen-1 and MRF1, and they're basically the demolition crew for your muscles. They promote breakdown.
Oh no, the muscle villains.
Exactly. But here's the good news. EMS was like putting those villains on timeout.
Hmm.
The study found that EMS significantly reduced the activity of these muscle-destroying genes.
That's amazing. So high frequency EMS is like a superhero for your muscles, boosting the protectors and shutting down the bad guys. This has to have some serious implications for real world applications, right?
Absolutely. Just imagine the possibilities for someone recovering from an injury. Instead of their muscles wasting away while they're immobilized, EMS could help preserve their strength and size. It could be a total game changer for their recovery process.
I'm already starting to see how this could be helpful for so many people. Okay, so my mind is officially blown. We've got high frequency EMS boosting muscle protectors, putting those muscle destroying genes on timeout. It's like the ultimate workout buddy. But I'm curious about something. The study was on rats, right? So how do we know for sure that this will actually translate to humans?
You're right to be cautious. While this research is super promising, we do need more studies on humans to confirm these findings. It's kind of like baking a cake.
Mhm.
You might have the perfect recipe, but you need to test it out in your own oven to make sure it comes out right.
Okay, that's a good analogy. So we need more human trials to see if this EMS magic works the same way for us. But let's say it does. Who would benefit most from this? Are we talking just athletes recovering from injuries, or could this be helpful for, other people too?
Oh, it's certainly not limited to athletes. Think about anyone dealing with muscle loss. Muscle loss due to immobility, like someone recovering from surgery, or even someone with a chronic condition, a condition that makes movement difficult. EMS could be a really valuable tool in their recovery arsenal. It's like giving those muscles a lifeline, helping them stay strong and healthy, even when they can't be actively used.
Now that you mention it, I'm thinking about older adults who often experience age-related muscle loss. Could EMS be a potential solution for them too?
There's actually a growing body of research that suggests exactly that. You see, as we age, our muscles naturally start to weaken and shrink. It's a condition called sarcopenia. But studies have shown that EMS, especially when it's combined with, traditional exercise, can help combat this age-related decline. It's like turning back the clock on muscle aging.
That's incredible. It could be a game changer for seniors, helping them maintain their independence and quality of life. But let's kind of shift gears a bit and talk about how this research is actually applied. It can't just be a free-for-all with electrodes, right?
Absolutely not. EMS is a powerful tool, and it needs to be used correctly. This is where qualified healthcare professionals come in,
Yeah.
like physical therapists or athletic trainers. They have the expertise to tailor EMS treatment to each individual's needs and goals.
So it's like having a personal trainer for your muscles, but this trainer uses electricity to get results. But how do they actually decide on the right settings? I mean, we talked about high-frequency EMS being beneficial, but are there other factors to consider?
Yeah, it's not just about frequency. They also have to consider the intensity of the stimulation, the placement of the electrodes, and the duration of the treatment. It's like fine-tuning a musical instrument to get the perfect sound. A skilled practitioner knows how to adjust all those parameters to optimize the benefits and minimize any potential risks.
That makes a lot of sense. And speaking of risks, are there any safety concerns people should be aware of before trying EMS? Is there a chance of overdoing it or causing any harm?
Like any medical treatment, there are potential risks and side effects. EMS can cause some discomfort or skin irritation, especially if the electrodes aren't placed properly. And in some cases, it might not be suitable for people with certain medical conditions. That's why it's so important to consult with a healthcare professional before starting any EMS treatment.
So the key takeaway here is to proceed with caution and seek guidance from an expert. It sounds like EMS has the potential to be an incredibly valuable tool for a wide range of people, but it's not something to just play around with on your own. But even with all these precautions, it's pretty mind-blowing to think about the possibilities. We've talked about injury recovery, age-related muscle loss, but could EMS have even broader applications beyond what we've discussed so far?
You're thinking along the right lines. What's so fascinating about this research is that it's not just about muscle size or strength. It's about understanding how EMS can actually influence those molecular pathways. Those tiny cellular processes that control muscle health. And if we can target those pathways with EMS, it opens up a whole new world of possibilities.
Okay, hold on. My brain is about to explode. Are you saying that EMS could potentially go beyond muscles and impact other parts of the body?
That's exactly what researchers are starting to explore. Early studies are looking at using EMS for conditions like osteoporosis, where stimulating bone cells could potentially lead to increased bone density. Imagine being able to strengthen your bones with targeted electrical impulses.
That would be revolutionary, especially for, those struggling with bone fragility. Are there any other areas where this type of research is showing promise?
Another exciting area is nerve regeneration. There's early research looking at how EMS might be able to help guide nerve regrowth after injuries. Imagine being able to use these targeted electrical signals to help reconnect damaged nerves. That could transform the field of rehabilitative medicine.
This is incredible. It sounds like EMS is on the verge of becoming this multi-purpose tool for improving human health in ways we never thought possible.
And it all stems from this deeper understanding of how EMS works at the molecular level. This research from Nagasaki University has really opened up a Pandora's box of possibilities.
I am completely hooked on this deep dive, but before we get too carried away with all these futuristic applications, let's bring it back to the present. For our listeners who are intrigued by what they've heard so far, and maybe thinking about incorporating EMS into their own fitness or recovery routines, what's your advice?
My advice would be to start by having a conversation with a qualified healthcare professional. A physical therapist or athletic trainer who has experience with EMS can assess your individual needs, determine if EMS is right for you, and create a personalized plan to ensure you're using it safely and effectively.
That's sound advice. It's always better to err on the side of caution and seek expert guidance, especially when it comes to something as powerful as EMS. Now, before we wrap up this deep dive, there's one more thing I'm curious about. So you mentioned that this research really opens up a whole new world of possibilities for EMS. But if we zoom out even further, what does this mean for the future of this technology? I mean, are we talking about a future where EMS is as commonplace as taking a vitamin?
Well, it's an intriguing thought. Imagine a future where EMS devices are you know, miniaturized
Mm.
and personalized, almost like a wearable tech. You could have these tiny little electrodes embedded in your clothing,
Oh.
providing targeted stimulation to specific muscle groups throughout the day.
So instead of hitting the gym, we'll be hitting the on button on our EMS suits. But jokes aside,
Yeah.
that could be revolutionary for people who have difficulty with traditional exercise, whether due to age, injury, or even, just a busy lifestyle.
Exactly. It could be a way to like seamlessly integrate muscle stimulation into our daily lives, helping us maintain muscle health and prevent that age-related decline. But it goes beyond just muscles.
Yeah.
If we can refine our understanding of how EMS interacts with different cell types, we might be able to target other tissues and systems as well.
Okay, now we're really getting into sci-fi territory. But you've already kind of hinted at some of those possibilities, like bone and nerve regeneration. What other areas of research are you most excited about?
One area that I find particularly fascinating is the potential for EMS to improve metabolic health. There's some early evidence suggesting that EMS could help regulate blood sugar levels and even improve insulin sensitivity.
So could EMS actually play a role in preventing or managing conditions like type 2 diabetes? That's a pretty bold idea.
It's still early days. We definitely need more research to confirm those findings. But if it proves to be true, it could be a game changer for millions of people.
It seems like every time we uncover one potential benefit of EMS, it just leads to 10 more questions and possibilities. It's like peeling back the layers of an onion, except instead of tears, we're getting mind-blowing discoveries.
That's a great way to put it. And that's what makes this field so exciting. We're really just scratching the surface of what EMS can do. As technology advances and our understanding of the human body deepens, who knows what incredible breakthroughs await us.
I, for one, can't wait to find out. And for our listeners, who are now equally captivated by the potential of EMS. What's the one key message you'd like them to take away from this deep dive?
I'd say the most important thing to remember is this. EMS is a powerful tool with the potential to transform human health in some really profound ways, but it's essential to approach it with, balanced perspective, understanding both its potential benefits and its limitations. Always seek guidance from those qualified healthcare professionals to ensure safe and effective use.
That's a perfect note to end on. EMS, a powerful tool, incredible potential, but always proceed with caution and expert guidance. And to our listeners, we want to hear from you. Have you had any personal experiences with EMS? What are your thoughts on the future of this technology? Share your insights in the comments below, and let's keep this conversation going. Until next time, deep divers, stay curious.